Welcome back to Raptor-One.
Raptor-One, Voyagers of the Stars. Chapter 23, Return to Ash. The Call Backward. The shard's glow shifted on the third watch, no longer pulling them toward the next radiant, but folding back along a path they had left behind. The map painted a vector that stung Lyra's hollow the moment she looked at it. She didn't need Juno's whisper to know where it led. The orchard. The place that had stripped command from her, carved the hollow into her chest, and left her living in fracture. Kael cursed when he saw it on the nav. No, we've bled enough there. Juno's voice was soft, almost pleading. But it's calling. The constellation won't let us finish without it. There's something in the ash we still need. Lyra's hands trembled on the yoke. She wanted to turn away, to let the course drift elsewhere. But the shard pulsed insistently, refusing to be ignored. "We're going back," she said, voice steady though her chest burned. "Whatever waits there, we have to face it." Descent into memory. The orchard hung dead above a world of broken forests, its crystalline spires blackened, its choirs long gone. Where once light had poured through lattices of living glass, now only ash clung to the frames. As Raptor-One approached, the braid grew hot. Kael's anger pressed sharp, Juno's grief welled, and Lyra's hollow screamed. She saw it in memory, the chamber where the Concord had once bound her, the moment her command was cut, the silence where certainty had lived. She remembered screaming, but no sound leaving her mouth. Now the shard pulled them toward the ruins of that very hall. "Of course," Kael muttered, bitterness laced with worry, straight into the scar. The Chamber of Loss. They disembarked into the old hall. The air was thick with dust, but faint lines of resonance still pulsed through the blackened glass, like embers that refused to die. The chamber remembered them. Their bands burned hot. The arches they had once stood beneath flickered awake, fractured but alive. Lyra fell to her knees. The hollow surged open wide, threatening to swallow her. She felt the echo of the voice that had cut her down. "You are not command. You are fracture." Juno knelt beside her, hand on her shoulder, her shard glowing faint but steady. "Lyra, this is why we came. To face what was taken." Kael stood rigid, rifle in hand. Though against ghosts it was useless. His jaw clenched. "Then let's take it back." Ash and flame. The chamber spoke, not words, but resonance twisted by ruin. "You carry what we cut. You survived what was meant to erase. Will you claim it? Or will you let ash carry your name?" The arches flared, demanding choice. Kael's rage surged through the bond. "Take it. Make them pay for cutting you down." Juno's hope wove in. "Not pay. Heal. You don't need their command. You need your own voice." Lyra staggered to her feet, the hollow a storm inside her. Lyra's reckoning. She raised her wrist, the band blazing. "You cut me down once. You thought you erased me. But command is not a title you grant or take. It's a weight I carry. Fractured, scarred, hollow, but mine." The arches trembled. Embers flared. The chamber's ash glowed faintly, lifting like dust caught in sunlight. "I will not fill the hollow. I will not erase it. I am it. And I will lead, not from command, but from fracture. That is my vow." The shard blazed hot. The hollow pulsed once, then steadied, no longer an ache, but a rhythm. Not absence, not weight. Space. The gift of ash. The ashes rose, coiling into the shape of a shard. Unlike the ones they carried, this one was dim, cracked, its glow faint. But it pulsed with the rhythm of Lyra's hollow, bound to her in a way no other shard had been. She reached out. The shard seared her palm, then settled into her band, fusing with it. Juno gasped softly. A shard of ash. Kael's eyes narrowed. Looks broken. Lyra flexed her wrist, the shard pulsing steady. So am I, but it endures. The orchards echo. As they turned to leave, the chamber whispered one final message, fading into silence. Fracture endured. Memory claimed. The hollow sings. Lyra's chest burned, but not with loss. For the first time since the orchard had stripped her, she felt not broken but whole in her fracture. The shard of ash pulsed in rhythm with the concord oath they had sworn. And above them, in the void, autumn's signatures gathered, drawn by the light of what they had reclaimed. The call backward. The shard had been tugging at them for hours before any of them admitted it. Its glow didn't brighten or dim. It tilted, a subtle shift that pulled their course backward through the constellation, toward coordinates they knew too well. Lyra saw the pattern first and felt the hollow inside her tighten like a wound reopened. The moment she recognized the destination, her breath left her chest in a slow, resigned hiss. The orchard. The memory of ash and light pressed against her ribs. The chamber that had once called itself sacred, the place where she had been cut down, where command had been stripped from her body like bark from a tree. Kael's curse cut sharp across the cockpit. Not there. Not again. We've bled enough in that grave. But Juno's whisper was different, fragile, reverent. It's calling us. The constellation won't finish without it. Something's still buried there. Lyra's hands hovered above the yoke, trembling. Part of her wanted to swing the ship hard away, to lose themselves in some other thread of starlight. But the shard pulsed again, insistent, and in its faint rhythm she felt inevitability. She finally exhaled. We're going back. Descent into memory. The orchard lay in orbit over a scarred world. Its crystalline spires collapsed into jagged silhouettes against the void. Where once it had glowed with living resonance, the whole construct now hung in silence, its lattice burned to ash. As Raptor-One drew closer, the bond seared. Kael's fury pressed sharp and bitter. Juno's grief rose like a tide. Lyra's hollow screamed with recognition. Her vision filled with ghosts. The chamber where the Concord had once stood, the moment the weight of command had been severed, her voice cut to silence. She remembered falling to her knees, the hollow yawning open in her chest like a wound she could never close. And now the shard pulled her back into that ruin. The chamber of loss. The hall they entered had been a cathedral of light. Now it was a husk. The crystalline arches were blackened, their edges fractured. Dust and ash lay thick across the floor, but faint threads of resonance still pulsed deep in the walls, embers that refused to die. The silence of the place was suffocating, but not empty. It remembered them. The instant Lyra crossed the threshold, her knees buckled. The hollow inside her roared open, wider than ever before, dragging her down. She clutched at the ground, gasping as the chamber whispered through the walls. You are not command. You are fracture. Her own voice echoed back at her, her scream from years before, still trapped in the glass. Juno was beside her in a heartbeat, one hand on her shoulder, her shard glowing faint but steady. Lyra, this is why we came. To face what was taken. To claim it. Kael stood rigid, his rifle useless but ready all the same, his jaw clenched. His fury burned through the bond like a storm. Then let's take it back. Burn the ash if we have to. Ash and flame. The chamber itself stirred, light flaring in fractured pulses. Its voice came again, raw and broken. You carry what we cut. You survived what was meant to erase. Will you claim it? Or will you let ash carry your name? The arches flared bright. The demand was undeniable. Kael's rage slammed into the bond. Take it. Reclaim what they stole. Make them pay. Juno's hope wove through, not vengeance. Healing. You don't need their command. You need your own voice. Lyra staggered to her feet, band burning on her wrist. The hollow pulsed, screaming for release. Lyra's reckoning. She lifted her wrist, pressed it against the nearest arch. The glass burned cold, then hot. You cut me once, she said, voice raw. You thought you erased me. You left me hollow. But command isn't yours to give or take. Her words rose, steadier with each breath. The hollow isn't absence. It's part of me. My scar. My space. I will not fill it. I will not erase it. I will carry it. And I will lead, not from command, but from fracture. The arches trembled. Light burst from their cracks, not pure, but uneven, jagged, like fire catching in ash. I am not your erasure, Lyra said. I am your survivor. The shard blazed. The hollow pulsed. Once, twice, then steadied. Not ache, not absence. Rhythm. The gift of ash. Ash lifted from the chamber floor, coiling upward in slow spirals, glowing faintly, as if the dust itself remembered song. It condensed into a shard, dull, cracked, but alive. Its glow pulsed in time with Lyra's hollow. She reached out. The shard burned her palm, searing the mark into her skin, then sank into her band, fusing with it. Juno gasped. A shard of ash. Kael's eyes narrowed. It looks broken. Lyra flexed her wrist, feeling its uneven pulse echo inside her. So am I, but it endures. The shard of ash glowed faint, bound to her hollow, a weapon and a scar both. The orchard's echo. The chamber dimmed. Its final whisper rang through them, fading into silence. Fracture endured. Memory claimed. The hollow sings. Lyra stood taller than she had when she entered, her hollow still present, but no longer raw. It was space. Space that could carry more than loss. Juno's hand slipped into hers briefly, their bond humming steady. Kael gave her a sharp nod, pride masked beneath scowl. The orchard fell silent once more, its task complete. The shadows gathering. But the gift came with a price. As they returned to Raptor-One, the sensors shivered. Red signatures blinked into range. Not one, not a few, but many. Autumn scouts had felt the flare of ash and light. Kael's rifle was already in his hands. They're here. Juno's face was pale, but her voice was steady. They felt what we did. They know you claimed it. Lyra took the yoke, the shard of ash pulsing hot on her wrist. The autumn were closing fast, but her hollow no longer screamed. It sang.
Thank you for listening. If you would like to be notified about upcoming releases to the Raptor-One series, please subscribe. This has been a Bad Karma Drone production.